in this culture with DEI and with transgender, the way that, if someone speaks up against like a regime, a politically unpopular regime, what the left can do traditionally is they've been able to isolate that person and shame them, and they can get fired or humiliated, and you sort of play whack-a-mole, and you can lop off the dissenters. But thanks to the internet and to X specifically, people can, on their X account, either through a pseudonym or a nom de plume, or as themselves, speak up. And so on Twitter, you see a huge amount of conversation about these issues and people speaking up and connecting. And people can just send a DM to Robbie Starbuck and say, this is happening at my company. And they can DM one another and say, here's what's going on. Can you help? I can DM the attorney general of a state and say, hey, I'm taking these cases and we have a witness in your state. Do you want to set up a call? And set up a call the next day. I mean, Twitter has totally enabled the conversation. And not only that, it's created this community where you're no longer isolated.
Since Musk took over.
Absolutely. And so now you have people that can come to your defense, and the left can't play the tactic of isolating and annihilating doesn't work. And so it's been really revolutionary. And in our lawsuit with Dr. Heim, the whistleblower, recently something that happened was that the government, so Aton, Dr. Heim, and I, on our Twitter accounts, will just tweet transcripts from hearings, excerpts, and transcripts from public court filings. So it's all public. And it'll be a little dialogue between the judge and the government where basically they're being completely humiliated or decimated, or something in our filings that we say that just totally takes them down. And so we will publish Twitter threads about what happened. So it'll cut out all the legalese, but just make all the arguments. The government filed, after they filed their third indictment, this outrageous indictment against Dr. Heim, they also filed what's called a motion to gag. And they argued that I, Marcella Burke, and Dr. Heim, we were bullying the government with our tweets, and that the judge should put a gag on us so we can no longer do this. I mean, the clear First Amendment issues here for the government to come against a criminally accused man who is innocent, 100%, innocent till proven guilty. You can speak, but what you say can be used against you. But now they're saying you can't even speak because it makes us look bad. Because what is he tweeting about? The lead prosecutor on the case has been taken off the case, possibly for very serious conflicts issues that came up. At one point, we discovered she was practicing and prosecuting our client without a law license. That was exposed on Twitter when it wouldn't have otherwise been exposed just through our public documents. I mean, all these things started coming out about the government's case. So what happens? X intervenes in our lawsuit. Mm-hmm. They filed a brief defending my and my client's First Amendment rights and sending this beautiful magnum opus on the role of X in the free speech and in these sort of issues. And also Not the Bee. So the Babylon Bee, the satirical website, also has Not the Bee. And that's sort of news that should be satire but isn't. And it's a news aggregator, but it's a news. And so they intervened and defended us and our free speech rights. And the government also tried to filed a bunch of stuff under seal, it's called, which means they file it, but the public can't read it and we can't share it with the public. But there's strict rules about what can be under seal because the taxpayers are paying for these prosecutions. And so why are these things under seal? And so Not the Bee said, as a press aggregator, we need to know what's going on. And so they filed that motion. And so, thanks to groups like X, Not the Bee, well, how do I connect with these guys? I can DM.
Yeah.
I can just send a DM and say, this is what's going on. And in that case, there's an amazing lawyer called Harmeet Dillon that deserves a shout out. And I just called her. And I said, Harmeet, she's a free speech lawyer in California, but other types of cases. And I said, hey, we need help on this. And so she represented X and Not the Bee when they intervened. Mm-hmm. And so again, another brave lawyer. And there's basically so few lawyers taking these cases that I could just call her because I can reach out to her on DM. And so I think my point is to not underestimate the role of X and the internet. And when you're speaking up at these companies, that there is a huge network of people that will come to your defense, and you will not be isolated, and the law is set up to protect you. And if they retaliate against you, all that does is give you more damages. And it's that's what's going to put an end to it, is that you're not going to be isolated. You're going to have, all these people coming to your aid, and the government can't stop it. The government cannot stop X.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.